Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much again for joining me here. Hope you're having a wonderful weekend. Let's take another look here at Solana, see what's going on. I just double check a few important factors. Kind of want to preface too and make sure you understand that I'm not bearish or bullish on any coin. I really just kind of tell you how it is when the market shifts. You want to kind of go in that direction. Right now the trend is down, so it's best to presume the trend will continue. So just want to kind of throw it out there. Some folks said stop being so bearish, and the truth is I'm not being a bear. I'm really just literally telling you what the charts are telling me and following suit. All right. Good traders are going to adjust and make sure you don't attach yourself to either mindset. And I think it's important that you maybe consider that too. Future reference too as well. I am also still considering a short around 185. I'll explain why that is the case. And at this point, still probably best to not trade just based on the fact that we're kind of in a range right now for Bitcoin. And there's a distinct chance that we're going to retest the upper 98K range. And in turn, we might see Solana return to that 180, 185 level. So I'm looking for a short there still. Again, at this point, I'm not just going to blindly take a short tomorrow if those parameters aren't met, right? And I'll show you what I mean by that here. So let's take a look at the backend data first, kind of go from there. And if you're new to the channel, maybe you've been watching for a while, deeply appreciate you hitting the like button, commenting below, maybe letting me know your thoughts on this coin. What do you think is going to happen? Or more important, what is your position? Where are you at here? My limit order at 160 never got filled. We just got that way to 161. A bit of a bummer, but that's how it works, folks. Always set your limit orders and make sure that you want to get filled. Again, I'm referring to spot bags. I never take take leverage plays in the blind. Let's quickly look here. First of all, 180 to 183, and then 165 to 166. Those are the heavy concentrations liquidation, both above and below the price action. We've got a little bit here accumulating at 176, but for the most part, the bigger picture is that we're kind of right smack dab in the middle of a range. Okay, it's kind of consistent right now with the market. That's kind of how it's been for quite a while. So just kind of par for the course, nothing super crazy there. We get closer to 180, it would be safe to presume we see 185. We get closer to 165, it might be safe to say we may see 160. That's just kind of how liquidation works, because again, market makers like to drive the price in those directions when they get there. Liquidation delta is telling us that most people are a little more short biased here, basically implying that they're trying to take shorts versus longs, because there's more shorts, about $1 billion worth in value more in shorts liquidation versus long liquidation. Okay. Same thing here as well with open interest. We're below a lot of key levels here. And when you're underneath open interest, you need to recognize those are generally construed as resistances, and the inverse applies when they're below you. Okay. So this kind of just tells us we got large buy orders at 177, 180, and 190 as a rough estimate. Those are heavy accumulations of interest in those areas with people's positions. A lot of times you can see the points of control here also reflect that. We kind of zoom out, we can see 198 is a larger point of control where people had the most amount of volume in that range before the price dropped out. That is part of the reason why I feel like 190, 185 is a good consideration for a short, because we have such strong resistance in that area, a lot of confluence, that there's a decent chance that the price won't just drive straight through that. It'll get rejected at least initially the first time. And those are, again, just things I try to look for to increase my odds of success when I'm trading. Take a look here at the daily time frame. We want to recognize that we're still below the 20-day SMA, generally construed as a bearish sign, and also well below the 50. So we're a long ways away from breaking bullish. I would say the first step to breaking bullish would be establishing higher highs and higher lows. Furthermore, getting above 185 to 190, because this has proven to be a local support turned resistance. Problem is we haven't even tested it as a resistance yet, so good chance we're going to see a rejection there the first time it's tested. That's generally how support and resistance levels kind of flip-flop. Take a look here though. We can see we're under 50 on the RSI. We got that general bounce off 30 on the RSI, which is a commonplace. So buying again that dip of 160, 165 wasn't the worst idea ever. Stochastic swinging up here, MACD trying to converge, but far from it. We got like one constellation out of a potential of like 10 as a rough estimate. I'm spitballing completely here, but there's very little reasons to take a long. We're also underneath a 200 SMA, which is notoriously a stronger type of resistance range. Keep in mind, SMAs aren't exactly supports or resistances, but being above or below them lets you know what the trend is. Right now, the trend is down. We need to respect the trend. 4-hour time frame. Double check this as well. We're above 50 on the RSI. Sorry, below 50, but we're wavering above and below the 20. This is usually a good starting point for trend reversals. You want to see higher highs and higher lows established concurrent with that, which we technically do have, but you got to recognize if you take a look at this chart here and you compare it with Bitcoin's moving a lot more dramatically in the same type of pattern. The problem is Bitcoin is kind of still establishing lower highs and lower lows on the macro, and that doesn't give me a lot of confidence. There's also a CME gap too, in case you didn't notice this here on my Twitter post. There's a CME gap at 95,000, and the price right now is 96.5. So decent chance that CME futures opens with a gap and gets filled at some point. So just be mindful that that will cause a adverse reaction here for Solana, because Solana has pulled back 2x of Bitcoin. Roughly over the last week's worth of trading, we've seen a lot more corrective behavior from this coin than majority of other altcoins when Bitcoin corrects itself. So again, just some things to be mindful of. That's again part of the reason why I'm reaffirming and just kind of letting you know that, these are the reasons I would consider a short here in the relative near future. Again, I'm not just attaching myself to a bias and saying, oh, I'm a bear now. That's it. I'm just bearish on the market. No, it's because the market is bearish still. Bitcoin had a false positive yesterday, breaking free from its range, and kind of gave a lot of people a consideration to take a lot of longs, and they got absolutely destroyed. We, however, took a nice short with Bitcoin, and we caught a good 26%. We shorted from 98.5. Again, I'm saying that mainly because you need to understand that Bitcoin's trading in a range. Until that range is broken, we want to presume we're going to keep seeing these highs and these lows. And altcoins are underperforming contrary to that. So if you will, however you will, and that's essentially the reason for that. I'm not just attaching myself to a specific bias. Okay, so I hope that is a good reaffirmation for you, perhaps, in your own trading, because a lot of times we can kind of forget what we're doing or kind of get stuck in these little ruts or whatever, or revenge trade. Don't revenge trade along on this coin just because it keeps taking money from you. That doesn't make a lot of sense. Wait for the right opportunity, and I think it'll present itself when it's ready. Between now and then, until we get above 185, 190, Bitcoin's 100,000 plus, I think we're going to continue to be in this cycle of nonsense. And it's unfortunate, but it is the way that it goes. So between now and then, you'll probably find a lot more success shorting coins. That's just kind of the general consensus for now. All right, so that's the information there. Hope that's beneficial for you. What else is beneficial? Bitunix, folks. Check this out. Make sure you use the link down below. This is mainly for those of my community members who've already registered with my link. They get a nice deposit bonus. Feel free to check that out in your own time. Also, check out our Twitter, Telegram, and Discord if you haven't yet already. Look forward to work with you. Feel free to jump on over to our Trading Academy community and signals group. Link down below, cryptocash.tech. Hope you all have a good rest of your day, though. Thanks again for your time. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.